Come on, let's go.
Hurry up.
I was grabbing a beer.
Welcome to PorchTlk, the podcast where today only two 20 somethings talk about anything and everything and help you figure out your life because we're figuring out ours along the way. I'm Eric.
Ezra, Rockwood Elementary class of '06 valedictorian.
We are without Morgan. She has something to do with her job. I mean, Ezra will work 24-hour days and still can show up for the podcast. So I guess some people are built different. I don't know.
Some people are not built for that shit. It's clear.
It's you hate to see it. You hate to see it. We got a lot to get into. We're gonna jump right into it. What kind of things do you consider relationship baggage? I feel like we might have talked about this because I see that you keep. I feel like we talk about this often, where you have problems with people and their dead exes.
Did we talk about this?
I feel like you hate people who have dead exes, and you're like, I don't. Why are we worried about them still?
This one I feel like was a little bit different because I was gonna go the other way. I was gonna say that like that's probably not baggage in my mind because I was reading
Ooh,
a Reddit story and Shorty was talking about how like she couldn't date somebody and is leaving her ex because he's still like in love with his dead ex from like 4 years ago or something, or his fiance from 4 years ago, and she's been his girlfriend of like a year. And she was like, the reason she didn't want to date him and never will date somebody who's like a widow again, and they were like in their 20s, was because that blurs the lines of a regular relationship. Because she was like, in no other relationship can you have pictures of your ex. Can you constantly talk about your ex? Are you like staying up at night crying about your ex? But here you
ooh.
can. And she was asking if she was an asshole for that like thought process. And I was in my head, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like this time you might be tripping. Like
I
you
thought
might
she
be a
might have
bad
been
person.
cooking there.
I mean, she's probably right. It definitely blurs the line a little bit because like it's gray area. That shit would not fly in a regular relationship. But like I feel like a dead fiance probably carry a little weight. A dead wife, you probably gonna grieve them for a very long time. So that posed a lot of questions like, is he even the Reddit post was going crazy. Like, is he even ready for a relationship if he's grieving still? Which I think maybe because like you probably just always grieve a little bit for your dead ex.
Yeah, I mean, if who knows how? Because you said they had dated for 4 years, but that's not the time difference between them, right?
Yeah, it's not the time difference. They were fiance dating slash fiancés for 4 years. She died, and then I think not too. I don't know the time frame afterwards, but he's now got a girlfriend of a year.
I mean, I still think you can grieve. I my caveat would be like, I don't want to tell anybody what to do because God forbid if I was ever in a situation, I don't know. But you probably can't have your apartment filled with fucking photos of you two at the same
Oh
time.
yeah, that I can probably say with confidence. We can't do that. And honestly, I don't want to be unsupportive, but I'm only human as well. So you can probably only like cry to me or vent to me about this but so many times before I'm like, oh, this for a dead nigga. Like, come on.
Yeah, like if you walk in, it's like every other Friday, sunset, and they're like, "Oh my god, we used to love watching sunsets." I'm like, "Well, what are we doing here? Like, I don't need to hear this."
I seen one time in the story and she was talking about how fucking some people celebrate their anniversaries of the dead ex, like what their anniversary would have been. That's definitely like cross the line for me. But she was saying that like every year on his birthday, her and her current went to the same spot that she would take him for his birthday. And I was like, this is just weird now. Like I'm not eating another nigga sandwich, let
That
alone a
was the
dead niggas.
first thing that came to my head. I was like, I know he's gonna be like, "I'm not eating this sandwich. I'm definitely not going to your fucking favorite food spot."
I'm eating a dead nigga sandwich. Get a grip. Oh.
Damn, that's kind of crazy. I don't. I feel like that does cross a line between like you're being supportive if they want to celebrate on their anniversary or like she wants alone time to go visit the grave, like cool. But like if you're
Yeah.
doing a whole day inspired by him and it's like, that's too far. Like that's not.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, no chance. That's crazy.
I do wonder like from the getting back to the Reddit one, like I would love to know the time frame between that because it might just be like you said, he might just not be ready for that relationship.
Yeah, and it's hard to because I'm sure at some point, whether it's friends, families, probably even a therapist at some point, they're telling you you got to like get back out there.
Yeah. But like how like I think you'd probably have to take at least a year at minimum depending on like how they passed. Like I think maybe if it was something like they had gotten a disease and they were sick for a while and you could kind of prepare for that, that'd be one thing. But if it was like a freak car accident, that might be a kind of a different situation where it might take you a little bit longer to grieve because it was so sudden.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh,
Especially, I feel like if it's something sudden, you probably are gonna grieve a little longer. And I doubt anybody in their like 20s is expecting their fiance to die. It happens, but they're probably not like prepared for that.
yeah. So I can't imagine. Can't imagine. But I think that, I mean, that's definitely baggage. And I think it's fair to have it. But I feel like with every type of baggage, it's fine in moderation. And
Yeah.
I can't tell someone how to handle their baggage at the same time.
Are we calling like somebody's one that got away baggage? Like, if you got a significant other and they're like, yeah, that person I dated 6 years ago was probably the perfect person for me. It was just wrong place, wrong time. Do you care about that?
Don't say that to my face. I feel like that's wildly disrespectful. Like I'm so trash. You're
Ooh,
reminiscing about your old love and just
he said
telling me
he's still
about
out
it.
there. He is still out there.
That
Yeah, that's
one's
crazy.
crazy. No, I don't. I don't think you can count that. Like if the one like you keep that to yourself. Like if you have a night where you're alone, you want to drink about it. Like sure, but that's definitely not even close to the same baggage as like a dead spouse or like former fiance or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that one probably takes the cake. They're probably like super baggage.
I think like your friends would have to tell you like, can you shut the fuck up? Like if your friends have to tell you like if they feel like they can tell you shut the fuck up about it, it's probably baggage we don't need to be hearing about.
No, that's accurate.
That might be a new rule.
Yeah, and after some point, it's like I feel like even the most like valid reasons or valid things, if you talk about it too much, it's gonna become baggage.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nigga, why do you bring this shit up every Friday? Like, yes, nigga died on a Friday, but like, who the fuck care now?
Yeah. Once your friends can make fun of you about it and you've been talking about it too much, that's you have to leave your baggage there. Or you gotta at least leave it at home behind closed doors.
Yeah,
All right. Tell me, I feel like there has to be a story behind this. 'Cause I think we talked about it when this was happening. If you're visiting friends, you have to plan to leave and check out of the hotel like on your last day on time. Whenever checkout is usually around 11. That's when you have to check out. You got to be ready to go by then.
yeah. For me, it's like you said, it's got to be hotel checkout times. So Um, I don't really have a story behind it. I was just wondering that because I'm like, I did have one person stay mad long one time, and like I'm never like necessarily mad at it, but I'm always like, hey yo, like it's Sunday, everybody here got work tomorrow. Like, are we just hanging out having fun?
No, I mean, I feel like whenever you're meeting up with people and hanging out, on that last day when you're supposed to check out, usually, everybody's ready to go home. You're not really like trying to stay and like do a lunch or something. It's usually like, even if you say it, it's kind of like, yeah, we should probably just get out of here and get on our way, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So for that one, it's like I might give you until noon ish if we're doing like a brunch. But if we're doing a brunch, we've got to be out of the house by noon. Like, so you got to pack the car to where, like, once we leave the brunch spot, you're going back to your destination. There's no
Yeah.
returning to the house after that.
Mm-mm.
Because then you're going to get, you're hungry. After you ate, you're tired. You need to rest a little. Now you're not leaving until 3 o'clock. And, like, I need to get some relaxing in.
Yeah. No. You got to check out whenever yeah. Honestly, you should probably be. I mean, checkout's at 11. Like we gotta be out of there even before then. If we're being honest, especially if you got to drive back, like it's gotta hit the road.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Different one, kind of job related. I saw a post about this. If you accept and sign a job offer, you put your 2 weeks in with your current employer, and then at some point during the 2 week period that you have, where you put your 2 weeks in, you're waiting to start another job. That company you signed your offer letter with pulls their offer with like no legitimate reason. They just pull it. Should you be able to take legal action against them? Because you probably can't get your job back that you just put your 2 weeks in for, and now you have no job. Like, what are you supposed to do? I think you got to be able to do something about it.
Wait, reset that scenario.
So let's say you're looking for a job, right? You got your current job, but you're like, I'm kind of over it. You find another job, you sign an offer letter with them, you put your 2 weeks in at your current job, and then at some point between that 2 week period, that company pulls your offer. So then you already put your 2 weeks in, you probably can't get your job back, and you don't have a new job. You should be able to take some type of legal action against the company that pulled your offer letter for no legitimate reason.
I agree. I feel like for that, the biggest thing is going to be what are they pulling the offer for? Because if they're pulling the offer because they didn't have money to pay you, it's going to get tricky because that's like winning a civil lawsuit and like niggas still don't have money to pay you. So like, are we actually getting paid in this scenario, or is it just like bragging rights,
I feel like
or
I would
like,
want to get paid. I need the money.
or is it one of the situations where it's like we're saying this is completely, we're saying this is completely job related. So it's not like
Yeah.
you failed a background check or anything like that. So they're
Yeah,
pulling it
there's
with
no
no
cause.
basis.
Yeah, they're just pulling it.
Um, hmm.
Because you're stranded. You wouldn't have a job. Like, maybe you can get your job back, but like, I assume if you put your 2 weeks in, most places they're like, cool, we're already offboarding you. Like, you're maybe they'll take you back, but probably not. I don't know.
I feel like most jobs probably not taking you back after you. It depends on how you leave. But if you put your 2 weeks in and you've already put it in, they're probably actively trying to replace you. So there's no guarantee your job is still there when you come back because they're going to need the staff.
Yeah. Mm, like, I feel like at least not an adult job. Maybe like a part time job, that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we can take you back. It's easy.
Um, how long are we saying they need to pay you for? Are we saying they need to pay you like a 2 weeks? They need to pay you a month until you find a new job? What's the payment we're seeking here?
I would probably say I would say a month, maybe 2 maximum. Because I think you if you get pulled and you can't get your old job back, you should clearly be applying for other jobs and trying to get one ASAP. So I think a month or 2 is good. I think after that, it's kind of like, listen, they I think even them paying you would be a good thing. So like you don't want to push it where you're like, pay me until I get a new job because I don't think that's likely. So I think a month or 2 maximum is probably a sweet spot for that.
A month or two might be a little long. I can give you I can give you 2 weeks to go get another job. I'm not saying it's gonna be the job you want, but you got 2 weeks to go get a job, even if that's flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Or let me ask you this. Maybe the companies don't have to pay you, but I feel like you couldn't get unemployment because you hadn't been fired or laid off. Could you file for unemployment in between
I
jobs?
like that. If you've got written documentation that hey, these people offered me a job, I accepted it, put my 2 weeks in, I'm without a job because I accepted their job offer and then they retracted it, you should be able to get at least unemployment.
I think
That,
that's probably the sweet spot of it.
yeah, that I'm not mad at. Also, like, fuck any job that's out there hiring niggas and then like retracting. But I do know a shorty, like one of my good friends, who was hired this summer for a big firm, and she just got her master from NYU. So like she was hired for a big firm and pretty much business. Pretty much what they told her was like she was gonna start in July, and then like June, third week of June, she was supposed to start the beginning of July. Like the third week of June, they hit her and we're on some, we're overstaffed and overhired. We can start you January 14th. And like Shorty had just gone on vacation. She had moved up to, like, she had got an apartment out there where she was gonna go because she thought she was about to start a job. And it's like 2 weeks out, they tell you actually hold off for 5 months. That's crazy.
What did
They,
she do?
huh?
What did she do?
Um, she's got like Jewish money from her parents, low key. So she actually used that time to travel more. Maybe one of the only shorties I know whose job list turned into like a win.
Damn.
Yeah, so she got to travel more, but it was kind of crazy because like she was prepared to work. She had got everything like lined up, and then they really was like actually like nah. And after that, I did like because she was telling me about it, and I looked that company up on Reddit, and like they've been doing this to people for like the last 2 or 3 years. They like have like damn near super recruiters, and they recruit heavy for like the summer, and then like from there they give you a start date, and they pretty much push everyone's start date like a month and a half from when they originally told you. And hers was just like super extreme.
Damn. I know that was some talk with a lot of our law school friends. Like they were waiting to get their start dates, and like some
Mm-hmm.
people's were getting pushed. And they were pretty. They luckily it all worked out for them. But there were a lot of people who were like getting other classes were getting pushed to like you said January, where it's like, yeah, we just can't really have you right now. I can't afford it, so we'll just push that off. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like I'm
Yeah.
especially if you move to like New York, like you need the
Oh yeah.
money.
That's like, to me, that's crazy. It's like literally insane. And the other thing that like blows my mind is when people get hired for like 3, 4 months out. Because I know one of my boys, fuck it, he an engineer as well. He got hired, and when he went in for the interview, they're like, "When can you start?" He was like, 2 weeks. Throughout the whole process, it was like, "I just got to put a 2 week at my current job." And they told him when they hired him that he could start like June something. And this was back in April. No, it's April right now. This was back in the end of February, early March. And they're like, yeah, we can hire you for a June start date. And he was like, I'll take the offer. And he signed the offer letter, but he was like, low key, if something else come up, like something else come up, I can't wait 4 months for a job. What the fuck?
Bro, what? Like what? Why couldn't he start sooner? Are they just doing it in the classes where it's like we have a class start in the summertime?
Nah, it was I think they were transition. From what he told me, he was told they were transitioning or firing the person he was coming in to replace because it's a smaller like location, smaller firm, and they had to wait for that guy who was like in his 50s to use the rest of his PTO. So he's just been like banking PTO. So they didn't want to have to pay him his PTO and bring somebody in and pay them to work those days. So they're
Ooh,
waiting till they're done paying him out his PTO.
yeah. I mean that's cool, but I would definitely be looking for other offers. Unless you were just like, this is the
Yeah.
place I want to be at, and like, all right, cool, I guess.
Yeah,
Shit.
not to me, I was like, that's like crazy.
Damn, I didn't know it was like this out in the world. People trying to get jobs. Speaking of jobs, I know this dropped last week. So non-competes are being like banned in contracts. Is that like across everything, or was that just like a
Yeah,
federal thing?
I mean, I don't know. It should trickle down since it was federal mandate, and it was gonna be, they were like banning non competes, and it was retroactive. So like any
Oh,
existing one is like toast now too.
damn, that's pretty massive. FTC announces rule banning non-competes. I know. I want to talk to Anna's parents about this because I think her dad might have had a non-compete with his previous employer. And I wonder if that affects him. Like, interesting.
Yeah, it's a very like interesting. Me personally, I've always thought my problem is I do fall under the mindset of like at some point you've got to honor your word and you sign what you sign. Nobody forced you to sign that. But at the same time, like non-competes were some of these sickest things like ever established because they can fire you for no reason. So like, why can't you leave and work for the opponent at any reason? So I've always thought it was interesting that like as a country we allowed non-competes to even exist or we honor non-competes. To me, that shit has always been a little bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, especially like let's say your job had you sign a non-compete and they're like you can't work in this industry or with any other people for like 90 days. So if you wanted to quit, like you would have to quit and then either have a company wait that period of time or you would have to just wait to start applying stuff like 30 days out. Like that doesn't make any logical sense.
Oh yeah, no way. They're toast. These niggas. If they told me I had a non compete, I would not give a fuck. I actually think I have a non compete with DHL, and it was close, but it's like since I'm in a different sector of logistics, it's not like it doesn't transpire. And even if it did, I would not give a fuck. The fuck, I don't give a fuck about that bullshit. But what I will say is, I have heard some like super vague non competes. And it was I seen one on Reddit where he said he signed a non compete that he can't work for any civil law firm. And I was like, this seems way too vague. I seen a shorty because I was looking this up, like I think it was last week when I seen her, or a week and a half ago when I seen it. And she said she signed a non-compete with her dental office as a dental hygienist. That she wouldn't go work for any dental hygienist, like no dental office as a dental hygienist. And I was like, this is your profession. What the fuck they expect you to do if you leave?
Yeah, that one actually seems like probably illegal. I don't think that would hold up in court. I have to imagine.
Yeah, that's like dumb as shit. I was like, what the hell? That's
Damn.
weird. I know like certain linemen have non-competes. Like you can't go work for another telecom company and be a lineman if you leave for like 3 years. And it's like,
What?
so they went to lineman school, and now you're telling them if you leave us, you can't continue to be a lineman. That's dumb.
Bro, I did not realize non-competes were going like that.
Yeah,
I
it's
figured it was like an executive kind of thing, like usually, or like sometimes like tech companies are kind of weird about that or law, but like linemen, dental
yeah.
hygienists,
The dental hygienist one when I seen that, I was like, yo, your job was tripping. Like,
like, what do you think you have fucking dental secrets of cleaning that like other people don't know? Patented technology? Like, come on, dude.
yeah, it's like actually, it's legitimately crazy. And it's hard to imagine. Like at some point, we were like, this is a good idea. Like what?
That's insane. Well, I'm glad they banned it. It's interesting to
Yeah,
see what actually happens from it.
very cool that it's banned. I am interested to see if there's going to be like any real pushback. We've had a lot of different things job wise this year. The unions for certain, and then this, I think at some point companies are kind of going to get fed up and try to put their foot down on some shit. And I got a feeling this might be one where they think they can win. So I feel like they might try to fight to keep non competes. I just don't know the real pro con for this because, like, realistically, I feel like most people who have a non compete are violating it in some capacity, and just nobody is really like seeking action on them.
Yeah, unless someone was really like unless you were important enough to follow up on,
Yeah.
I don't think it cares. Looking at this article, it says recruiting will be much easier, which makes sense. Some employers will be forced to compete or on a more even playing field, which okay, cool.
Mm.
Wages may go up because you can pay people, or and retaining workers just got more expensive. So it looks like people can get paid more all around,
Oh
which is
yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. Because with a non compete, you can like level up. So if you're here, they're not paying what you want. You can go work for a different company, so they're gonna have to pay you more, and vice versa. So I feel like niggas' worth is gonna go up.
Hmm. Damn. Apparently, 30 million people were affected by non competes.
Damn. But you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there are more non-competes and contracts than niggas think. Because I had one at DHL. I've absolutely got one here. And it's like, what the fuck do like you really probably just skip over that and sign that shit because you're not thinking anybody's gonna ever come after you for this.
I was gonna say, what is your non compete like? If you do you know what it is off top of your head? Like
Yeah,
you can't
I
go work for
couldn't
certain people.
beforehand. I couldn't go work for any 3PL logistics that moves white glove furniture. So any company that does like logistics for white glove furniture, so like assemble, delivery, that type of shit, I got
Hmm.
a non compete that I could not go do that. But like at the end of the day, if it came down to it, I was gonna do it regardless. What the fuck? Like what? Who's gonna look that up? Like there probably is somebody whose like job it is to check on that type of shit. Honestly,
Damn, now they're out of a job.
yeah. Oh yeah, there's probably a compliance team whose whole like day is doing that shit all day and like seeking retribution. And you know those are just some salty ass niggas. Cause you're upset a nigga left you, so you're trying to block him from working. Cause my question has always been, when you find the nigga who violated your non-compete, what happens then? Like, do you sue them? Do you contact their employer and let them know they're in infringement on your non-compete and now they don't have a job? Like, what is the next step there?
An employer could be awarded an injunction or even monetary penalties against a former employee. Hmm.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, I guess I could probably sue you in some capacity. I can't imagine it's much.
I was gonna say, honestly, for that, is it the employee or the employer? Because I feel like it's also the employer's due diligence to ask if you have a non-compete.
Yeah, I guess it would probably, if you were working in the industry, it would probably be something that would come up more compared to if you're working in like an industry it's not as common.
Yeah,
But I think if you, at the very least, I feel like the person would have to probably disclose that if you thought it
yeah.
was potentially an issue.
And then what? Like, does the employer pay the non-compete to the other company to keep them, or like, is the nigga supposed to step down and be broke?
Listen, I don't know about the. I feel like at the very least you're probably paying some type of like monetary fine for that. I mean, God, I can't imagine. I think, ooh, interesting. I don't know. Yeah, very interesting on that. Before we get into our next topic, we wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this week's episode, Zencastr. When we first started recording PorchTlk, we were using whatever rinky-dink setup we could, but we realized we needed to step our game up to a legit setup, and that's where Zencastr came in. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log into your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guest. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Trust me, I know. If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code PorchTlk and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experience we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story, and honestly, they have a free plan too if you need it. It's just as good. Shout out to Zencastr, and let's get back to the episode. Let's slide into this week's top five. We are doing the top five perks of hosting guests at your house.
Um, all right, let me pull my list up. Top five perks. Oh, my list is goaded. Honestly, I was really thinking about this shit. All right, so shit's loading. Number one, top five perks of hosting guests at your house. I do
Mhm.
not have to travel there. That's like the best one. Like when you're going somewhere and it's like, dang, I got to drive 3 hours to get to this event. It's like, come on, man. So not having to travel there is number one. Number two, I can get as comfortable as I want in my home. Like I can sit in my spot on the couch. I can sprawl out. I can put my feet on the fucking table if I wanted to. It's my house. Number three, I get to choose the music played, the TV show watched. Honestly, I even get to choose like the games we play because again, it's my house. Like unless you brought something, I'm gonna just lie and say I don't got it if I don't want to play it. Four, I get to choose the food provided, and I can ensure it's good and I'm not hungry. Like, you ever been somewhere and
Mm,
they served you bad fucking food? No, I'm hungry all night and there's nothing to do because I can't leave and go get some shit in the middle of the night. And then five correlates back to number one. I do not have to drive back home from the event.
mm.
It's a goaded list.
It is. I was busy at work and made mine up on the spot. So my first one is just you can chill. I don't know what that meant. I was writing it as you were talking, but I'm just gonna roll with it. You can chill for sure. Number two, kind of in a different vein, but you can eat and drink as much as you want because it's your fucking house and it's your food. No one's gonna be judging you if you were killing like the meatballs because you fucking made them.
Yeah.
Number three, you can change it to comfy clothes. So I'm assuming it's a little bit later in the night. You're like, damn, these pants aren't moving. I'm ready to get into some shorts or like some PJs. There you go. You're ready to go. Number four, I can hang with my dog. Came up with that one on the spot. No big deal. Number five, I am just gonna steal this from you. No travel. You don't have to travel there or back. Handoff
Yeah,
did
like
steal that from
that's
you, but it's a great one, so I had to add it
yeah,
on there.
that's truly goaded.
Huh. Anything else? Perks of hosting guests at your home. Hmm. I mean, you can decide who you want to see and hang out with. That's always a classic good one. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other honorable mentions I can think of, mostly because I'm now just coming off with these off the top of the head. I was going to say something about having a balcony, but I don't know if that applies as much. All right.
Well, you said what?
I was going to just say I have a balcony, so that's always a positive. Get some outside access.
Yeah, that is pretty solid.
All right. Post topic real ones only. Um, what's the deal with the tow trucks?
Oh, bro, me and Ethan were talking about this the other day. We're going kind of crazy. One of my niggas who I actually just fired yesterday fucking got his truck towed. Parked in the wrong spot, got that shit towed. Got his shit towed. Tow truck fucked up the truck. Here's my thing on tow trucks. One, don't ever sign a waiver they give you because they were like
Mm,
trying to force them to sign the they were trying to force them to sign the waiver, and they just kept pushing for them to sign the waiver. Like, oh, if you sign this, we'll get you out of here faster. It's a faster process. And then I called him. I was like, buddy, do not sign that shit. The waiver literally states that they are not responsible to any damage done. I said, these
mm.
niggas are absolutely responsible. They fucked this shit up. And then I talked to him, and these guys are Dominican. They don't speak great English. They speak English, but he wasn't really understanding them. So I talked to the tow truck driver, and he was like, "Oh no, it's just a faster process. The paperwork is going to take like 2 or 3 hours to get them on the road." I said, "They'll wait. Like, come on, man. Like, you did probably fucking $1,800 worth of damage to this shit. We're not signing any waiver
Oh,
on that. Like, what the fuck?"
Jesus.
So that got me on a roll about tow truck drivers. One, sign no waiver, and then two, we need to mandate something to stop letting tow truck drivers tow niggas for most situations. If you're illegally parked in a city, downtown, a parking garage, just give you a ticket. Why are they towing your shit and making it more complicated for your day? Now you got to find where that tow station or tow lot is. You got to find a way there because they towed your shit. Like, the only time you should be towing is like fire lane, apartment complexes where you're parked on somebody's like reserve, or like breakdown. Why are these niggas towing for shit you could just get a ticket for?
I saw a video a couple weeks ago where there was a tow truck trying to tow a car in like the middle of a lane. It just kept trying to like back up and like hook it. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on around here, dude?
Yeah. Uh, a nigga tried to tow. I seen a video of somebody trying to tow a car like on the road. Like, he tried to hook up to the nigga on the road in the shit, and I was like, "Come on, like, this is crazy."
Yeah, tow trucks are out of control. Definitely hate seeing tow trucks around. It's always up to no good.
Truly up to
Give
no
me
good.
Yeah, give me this one, then we'll get out of here. What's your beef with people who propose in song? Like literally people are proposing as they sing, or they're using a song to
Yeah,
propose.
either or. I think both of them are lame. If it's you're singing and proposing, like, to me, shit's super lame. But if you're like writing a song or like playing a song and proposing to that, I'm like, what is going on here? If there's like a song in the background, that's one thing. But if you're like coordinating with the words of the song to propose, like, come on, man, get a grip.
They can't do a little 1-2 step.
Hell no. Shit, I got
That's,
thirsty.
guess you're not a hopeless romantic like we thought.
No, I am. I definitely am.
No, so you didn't. No songs when you proposed.
Oh yeah, there was zero songs playing.
Are you even gonna have a first dance at your wedding at this point? Sounds like you don't like music at all.
Okay.
Just asking the hard hitting questions, man. Uh, all right, let's wrap this thing up. Unless you have anything else on your mind.
I've got nothing.
All right, let's do some music and TV recommendations.
Uh, TV. I've been watching a lot of Seeking Sister Wives. It's very good.
What the
I
hell
actually
is
hate that I
that?
had to leave this weekend while it was getting crazy. It's a show for niggas seeking sister wives. It's hectic.
In
It's
like Utah?
all over. One of them
Oh,
is actually fleeing state to state to state. It's like great.
what?
So seeking sister wives, and then music, drink and dance by Future.
A lot of future from you lately.
That's all I've been listening to.
So I guess I know what side of the beef you're on.
Oh, always was gonna be on Future over that other light skinned nigga.
How do we feel, just real quick, about Kendrick still not responding to anything Drake has said?
I wouldn't either. The fuck?
Damn.
Who the fuck is Drake to us?
Um, TV wise, I'm gonna go with the movie. We watched Bullet Train on Netflix. Shout out. Actually, a fantastic movie. Definitely highly recommend if you just want like a little action movie with some comedy going on. Great little watch. Definitely check that out.
I might have to look into that.
Another TV show. Been caught up on Moonshiners. Forgot that was
Bro,
on.
I've been watching Crazy Moonshiners. That's
So
literally
good,
all I watch is Impractical Jokers, Moonshiners, and Naked and Afraid when I'm in these hotels.
dude. I want to try some Shine. I need to find some Shine. I gotta try it out.
Yeah, I gotta find a good spot for real.
The amount of times where I'm like, could I just like do this in my kitchen one day? Just get a little, like, do a little quick, little small run, a little batch. Yeah. Music wise, I didn't prep for this. I'm just gonna say something about the old Mervs. I'll probably just throw that in there once I figure out what song I'm gonna rock with. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Thank you for listening. As always, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Porch Talk No A. There's from Apple Podcasts. There's review on Spotify. Watch on Spotify. Watch on YouTube. Subscribe over there. Doing the damn thing. Appreciate you. Back next week. Peace.